Hello, welcome everyone to my first ever live um, broadcast of about topics related to technology, and for this one specifically Tesla. So this one is about three Tesla myths that I hear all the time recently, and I want to take this chance to clarify them so that you are no longer confused every time you hear about these topics. And without further ado, here we go. So the first one you'll hear all the time is that um, soon the market share will be snatched by other automakers once they catch up. Uh, Companies like GM, Ford, Chrysler, and Toyota, even all these other companies, Honda, once they have their electric product, EV, they will be able to sell much better than Tesla, and thus Tesla will not be able to sell as many. So while that is only true to a certain degree, um, the problem is this. If we only have 100 apples and Tesla is eating 80 of them, when other automakers have a bigger mouth, they will eat into Tesla's 80 apples, and maybe Tesla only have 50 apples. But the apples is not absolute. The apples is actually percentage. Yes, percentage wise, Tesla may not have 80% sales anymore in America as it currently does. But even if at 50%, since the overall pie is bigger, so the 50% later number of cars sold could still be a lot more than 80% right now because, as you know, people are transitioning to EVs. So everybody is buying EVs now, and that number is increasing. And the number of ICE traditional gas cars are decreasing. So once again, 50% later could be more than 80% now. So yes, percentage-wise, the other automakers will snatch some of it, but Tesla overall will still grow, not shrink, because of the increasing pie reason. So I hope that's clear. If it's not, please leave a comment and I'll address it. So second myth, the current stock price is very much overvalued. Currently, it's more than all the other automakers combined, which is ridiculous, right? Sounds like, and also the PE ratio is like hundreds, maybe almost 1,000 before the current recently at the Q2 earnings report, which shrinks it down to like 300 or something, right? So is it super overvalued that it's worth more than all the other automakers combined? I mean, if you consider it from the angle of how many cars Tesla has produced compared to other automakers, yes, that is ridiculous because you know Toyota, Ford, Chrysler, all those companies are selling a lot more cars than Tesla at this moment still because people are not yet transitioned into EVs completely or not even halfway. So with the billions of cars you see on the road, right? Uh, Slowly every year Tesla is only making what currently maybe a million, close to a million cars a year. You got billions of cars in the world. In America, maybe 100 millions of cars, right? To replace that like 100 million cars, Tesla is gonna need like many years, right? They only make 1 million cars per year at the moment, even though that rate is increasing. So it'll take many years. Um, so that's why, in terms of making cars, yes, Tesla may not be making as many cars as other manufacturers. Other manufacturers are selling more at the moment, but if they're catching up, good. Tesla is catching up at a very rapid pace. And if you need evidence, I can share a lot of articles and news and studies and reports. Right, that's a fact. It's not even debatable. So so the main so so is it overvalued in this sense? Then it's catching up. So if you only talk about the current state of the company, yeah, it's overvalued if you talk about the current state. But when people are evaluating whether a stock is overvalued or not, it's never just about the present, because a stock price includes any factor that you can think of. everybody invests for the future. They don't invest for the moment. They don't. There's no such phrase as investing for the moment. So when they invest for the future, you need to take into consideration the future. It means that when you look at stock price, it has to be all the stock price are reflective of not just the current state, but the future foreseeable potential state of the company. And for Tesla, that is a lot of potential, right? Just to give a few categories that are just on top of my head, right? There's full self-driving, which is getting really, really good, and we should have some general release to the public in less than a year, a few months or something. You get the trucks, Cybertruck, which is super popular. It's going to sell a lot. The semi, the whole industry is going to want them because you don't need any gas and it's just much more performant. You got a solar panels, solar department, right? Getting better and better, and having more installation. You get the storage business. In case of outage, the storage can help power anything. You got the AI department. This is a main point that a lot of people have missed. AI department of Tesla is super, super cutting edge, right? In order to solve full self-driving, it's not just a driving problem anymore. When we drive, we actually have context, very rich context of the world, helping us make the decisions, so that in court, when we have to defend an accident, it would make sense to the judge and the peers. So in order for a car to drive by itself, it needs to have this rich human context. That is the AI, right? So in order to solve FSD, you need to solve a large part of the real world artificial intelligence problem, which means that Tesla has already made great strides in that department. And with just a flip of the direction, they can retool these AI that they've built to solving a lot of other things, like just creating mini robots to do repetitive tasks, like making you drinks or doing house chores, right? So AI is huge. Like, a lot of people are not understanding that of the potential of Tesla, and also Tesla, because of the raw material limitation, they may get into mining. They may already have acquired some kind of mining company, or they may be looking into drills in certain areas already, because it's a truly vertically integrated company, right? And that's also, finally, last but not least, a big potential for Tesla is its synergy with other companies within Elon Musk reach, right? Such as SpaceX, Boring Company, and the Neuralink, right? Just to name the big ones. Well, you already know there's already some synergy from SpaceX, right? They're gonna use the space technologies to put in the roadster, which make it accelerate like a rocket. And then you got the Boring companies, boring tunnels in everywhere, and then with a Tesla car, it's built for Tesla cars, right? I mean, other cars can probably get in, but the Tesla cars can just go in seamlessly and come out of the other end of the tunnel. And then you got Neuralink as well. Tesla is into a lot of AI and also machine learning. Neuralink will also have great synergy with Tesla. So all of these factors combined, you can see the huge potential for Tesla in the near future. That's why there's so many bulls, not necessarily, they're very rational bulls, right? They're not like fanboys. Predicted at least a 3 to 5 or 6x in the next 3 to 5 years. It's totally possible, right? So is it overpriced? The stock price? Look, nothing is overpriced, okay? A price is whatever someone is willing to pay for it. The price cannot go to 800 if nobody spends $800 to buy a share. So to say something is overpriced, you're just oversimplifying a lot of things and makes you seem not very intelligent. So I hope that settles that. And that's the second myth. And there's one more myth I want to debunk today, which is the about how once the automakers catch up, Tesla won't be the big dog anymore, because Tesla is only selling so many electric vehicles because nobody has a choice, because they're the first mover. And Ford, GM, and Chrysler, whatever, they are the best companies in America. It's just not true. So first of all, for GM or whatever, they are actually more like legacy dinosaur companies. They just happen to have a production line that's time proven and robust, that they can productively manufacture cars with fewer mistakes now because it's all established. But make no mistake, right? They're still using technology from decades ago. The internal combustion engine technology hasn't really improved by a lot, and they're just using that same technology over and over, different shiny fronts, upgrading the internal systems like AC or whatever, making the leather seats, whatever. But they're essentially they're still using the same technology. And if they're really that modern and technologically advanced, why did GM choose to partner with Nikola, an obvious scam company for everyone? Even GM knows they're a scam, but they partner with Nikola just for the brand, right? Because they need to seem cool. So if all those traditional automakers are so good, why would they need to partner with Nikola, right? So, and then about catching up, right? Other automakers catching up. Currently, it's really hard to catch up to Tesla. It's basically impossible, because if you know anything about Elon Musk, you know that he never stops improving his company. Every day, something gets better, something gets faster, something gets more efficient. There's no one else who executes as committed and crazy as he does, right? The industry authority, right, in electric vehicle or general vehicle business, Sandy Munro, has said that after tearing apart a Tesla and other cars, saying that Tesla is years, maybe decades ahead of other companies, in terms of technology. So if they're ahead of you for years already, and they're currently the leader, in EV, and they never stop improving, and they have all this potential, how on earth are the other automakers going to catch up? There's almost no way. So in fact, unless the other automakers do something really dramatic, pivot their business like in a huge way, otherwise, even if they're not bankrupt completely in a few years, everybody's gonna want an EV. No one wants the ICE vehicle anymore, right? So even if they're not bankrupt completely, they will be at best, making 20% of the profit of they do right now. You can imagine if they make some kind of a crappy EV vehicle like some companies have already done, the sales is just horrible. Nobody wants them. Nobody even heard of some of the models, and a lot of times they simply scrap the model entirely and don't sell it anymore. And that's kind of what's going on, right? I mean, there are some viable products out there. For example, from Porsche, they make a decent car, and maybe Lucid as well, because the CEO is basically from Tesla. It's ex-employee, right? One of the higher ups. So except Lucid and Porsche, like all these other EV companies are making cars that are like only like 60-70% range of Tesla, and you can forget the acceleration. Acceleration may be also 60-70% of Tesla. So why would you pay a similar price for 60 or 70% of the performance and specs and everything? Is it just for the interior look? You really like that luxury instead of the modern minimalistic look that Tesla has. You want the luxury feel. You want the traditional, full of buttons, full of screens everywhere view. Do you really pay that much more just for that stuff? If so, I mean, I'm happy you have so much money to throw around, but needless to say, Tesla makes the best vehicle by far, right? By 30%, to my estimation. And that's just the car itself. We're not even talking about, the software update over the air, the FSD and all that stuff, right? So it's more than 30% better. So why would you pay $100 to get $70 worth of stuff, right? That's how people currently are being irrational about. They thought, oh, let's just stick with the names and it'll be good. Tesla is new. I don't know if they're good, well, do your research and it should be clear. So I hope this clear up the 3 biggest myths that people have. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll try to address them.